Hello children, I am Deepika, working as an English and life skills trainer in Naipunya Vikasam. Before starting the lesson, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever heard stories from your grandmother's children? Yes? Do you like those stories? They are very nice, right? Usually, children are very interesting to hear and tell stories. Have you ever created any stories? Did you tell stories to anyone? Do you write stories? How can you write stories? By thinking, imagine something new, visualize in a different way, and create a story. That is creative writing. Now, our topic is creative writing. What is creativity? Creativity is thinking in a new or different way. What is creative writing? It's a form of writing which is written with the creativity of mind. Students, look at this picture of creative writing to write a story. Now, what is the purpose of creative writing, students? The purpose of creative writing is expressing of feelings, emotions, thoughts, etc. All the books can be classified under two main categories. What are they? Fiction and non-fiction. Fiction books are imaginative writing instead of real facts. It's not based on actual events. These are the stories. For example, Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, etc. Non-fiction books. Non-fiction books are written works of real facts or true things and events. For example, autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi and Abdul Kalam, etc. Now, come to the fiction books. Now, look at this picture. So, fiction books are creative story books, imaginative writings. Then how can you write a story? Who should be in your story? See these four characters. First, protagonist. It is the main character of a story, greatly affected by the antagonist. He is the leading character. Simply, he is the hero in a play or novel, etc. Second one is antagonist, a person who is strongly opposite to protagonist of a drama or film, etc. Simply, we call him villain in movies. Sidekick, close assistant, especially one who has less authority than protagonist, aligned or arranged with the protagonist's goal. Simply, those are side characters. Mentors, teacher or helper to the protagonist, guards the protagonist and guides the protagonist, and supports the protagonist, and depending on the protagonist moral alignment. Now, how can you write a story? For example, if you want to create a story in a forest, just close your eyes and think. What things come to your mind to create a story in a forest? Animals, trees, caves, bushes, etc. Now look at these pictures of creation of a story. In the same way, create an adventurous stories. Do you like Pokemon, Power Rangers? Yes? Do you like to watch children? In Pokemon or Power Rangers have fights and adventures, etc. Right? Here we see some tips to write a story. The entire story we need to cover some points. What does your protagonist want? What is his goal? What kind of a person he is, and what is his attitude, and what things he needs to attain in order to achieve his goal. So the entire story we should cover among these points. Here comes to tips. Write a catchy paragraph. First sentence of a story. The first sentence of a story should catch a reader's attention. In this first line, we need to create curiosity in the reader, like what is this, what is going on, what he is doing, that. So we should create curiosity in the first line itself. And next tip is developing characters. Developing characters, a brief catch of a character. Next, choose a point of view. In which point of technique of narration you want to write your narration of the story? First or second or third person of the technique of narration? You have to choose. Then, meaningful dialogues. Write meaningful sentences or meaningful dialogues. Use setting and context. Setting includes time, location, atmosphere, etc. That is setting. Next, set up the plot. Plot is a series of events. Simply, plot is a series of events. Next tip is create conflict or tension. This means you create the conflict between the protagonist and some other characters. Last, climax. So what is the climax? And solution to the conflict you created between the protagonist and the other character. So children, here are some tips to improve your creative writing, to create a story. Then here is the assignment of creative writing. What is creative thinking? What is the purpose of creative writing? Difference between fiction and non-fiction. What is protagonist? Means who is protagonist? What is mentor? And write some tips to create a story. And write a small story. I think this video will help you, students. Thank you.